Hello, everyone. This is Cassandra Williamson with The Path Forward. Welcome to the Friday afternoon, March 28th, 2025 episode. I don't know the number. There's been quite a few. But anyway, so just welcome to the show. If you haven't subscribed to the newsletter, please go down into that link that's going across the bottom right now, the www.cassandra-llc.com. Go there, click on the menu button, and find the subscribe option. Go there. Also, you can go there and find all the blogs that I post too. And make sure you sign up for these things so that you can get them to your own mailbox, your own inbox, so that you can see what's going on. Okay, subscribe and make it happen, folks. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today. I do have one major topic that I sent out a couple of different emails about it earlier today. I'll talk about that shortly. The first thing is, let's give a rundown of the news, the headlines for the day from various news sources. And I get my news from, I don't know, different places. Some of it comes from Microsoft News, some of it from Google News and Bing News, you name it, searching all kinds of news options around the world. But anyway, so most of them are from the US these days. Can't imagine why. All right, so let's see. The first thing I want to do is just share a screen. And we're going to mention a few of these headlines before I jump into the big thing of the day. Okay, let me see. Let me find this one. That's not the one I want. Where is it? Oh, down at the bottom. There. You found it. Okay, so I'm going to use this as kind of a lead in. This is my topic I'm going to talk about after I get through the news headlines, but eliminates anti-American ideology at the Smithsonian Institute. Yeah. If my face doesn't tell you, that's just asinine stupid. Okay, we'll come back to that in a minute. All right, so I'm going to go to the next one. Stop sharing. And I'm looking for Trump administration. Where are we? I've got to go over here. Trump administration. I'm going to share this next one, okay? Where's the Trump administration? This one. Here we go. Trump administration sues to invalidate dozens of union contracts with federal agencies. There's several union affiliates across the whole of the federal government, okay? Many employees are members of the unions, but he is out to invalidate those. You know why? So it would make it easier for him to fire people. Okay, that's the biggest thing. So yeah, this man is just a roll of tissue paper away from being flushed. My opinion. I'm keeping it to myself. Well, no, I just told you about it. Okay, we're going to stop sharing that one. And I'm going to go to the next story that is pertinent to what we are, the different news stories, just different things I come up with, that I see that interest me while I'm going through all this stuff. Okay, this next one is SSA reverses changes to direct deposit. Share. Earlier this week, one of our episodes this week, we started talking about the Social Security Administration, that they were changing some things, going to make people they were going to remove the phone application possibility where you could sign up on using the phone. Well, they've gone back on that one. I guess they got so much pushback that they decided they were going to hold off on that for now. Okay. So direct deposit applications, yes. So if you're going to change anything, you can do it on the phone. You may have a difficult time getting through, but they're definitely reversing that particular thing for now. It'll come back. These people never just back off. They figure out another way to sneak it through. Okay, that's the next story. Let me go on down to, this one's about the Panama Canal that's coming up here. You may have seen some of these things. Panama Canal port. The Chinese government has put the port sale on hold. The Chinese regulators have stopped the process. They were supposed to sign them over to, BlackRock next week. Well, not going to happen right now. The Chinese are reviewing all of it because they own the two bases. Well, I guess they own the leases for the two bases there. There are two ports there on either end of the Panama Canal. So let's go to the next story. And I got to go back and share the screen again. Here we go. These are things that just, for those of you just dropping in, these are things that just interested me throughout the day when I saw something. And if you have a news story you want to share with me, please do, please do, please do. I will share something here in just a minute after I go through these news stories. Okay, Putin sends a clear warning as Trump tries to take over Greenland. Putin basically saying in this story, this is by the Daily Beast, and basically saying here that he's not talking about, weaponizing the Arctic. Really? Who's going to believe that? Oh, my God. Now, let's just go on down to the next news story here. Washington reacts to Putin's ideas, and this is a different one. And I find this fascinating, but this is something that Putin is a very good manipulator, okay? He knows how to play with people, and he knows what motivates Trump, okay? And if he gives Trump an option, this was what he did, Trump an option to, be the transition government in Kyiv over Ukraine. Well, even though the White House said earlier today that they're rejecting that proposal, I know, we all know that kind of tickled Trump's fancy. Kind of made him feel good, Goodness. What's the next one we're going to talk about? Let's talk about Bondi next, okay? We're going to go over to Bondi. All right. And share this one. Bondi, judge assigned to Trump's cases cannot be objective. Talking about Boasberg, I think might be his name. He had the one that had to do with, what was it? Let me see. I'm trying to remember what it was all about now. But anyway, it's about the Houthis, partly. That's the one thing. He's taking up that one, but he was also over the matter with the deportations. So, yeah, Bondi is jumping into the bandwagon with Trump, as we all knew that she would. No surprises there, right? Exactly. That's all I thought too. And we'll do one here, and just hanging on. Okay, this is a news story you may have heard today. The State Department is officially shuttering USAID, and obviously there will be lawsuits. Now, there are lawsuits about all of this already, but, c'est la vie. They're going to do it anyway, folks. They've already jerked everything out from under it. So, piece of cake for them to say, we'll just leave this person in charge to maintain the official air of officialdom so that, it looks like it's open, but no, there's nothing there. There's just air in the spaces. Yep. That's what that's all about. Okay. All right. So let's go take a look at this next little story that popped up. Covered a few things that have to do with the national stuff going on around the country and all that. That's, interesting, at least. This next one, though, Trump's legal losses this week from Newsweek. As transgender ban blocked. It's been blocked twice. Judge Anna Reyes in D.C. blocked it, and then a judge out in Washington State blocked it. So that's two blocks. The one out in Washington State told them flat out nothing. Don't ban anyone. Everyone involved. Try to be as broadly applicable as possible to everything that Trump and his team would likely think of. Cover all the bases. The judge just shut them down. But it's a preliminary injunction, so basically it's going to all end up before the Supreme Court, which is fine with all of those people out there who want it to go there. The rest of us, though, the sane ones in the bunch, we kind of go, this is stupid. This is crazy. All right. So let me jump to the next one. Now, this one is DE&I related, folks. DE&I related. This is from the Daily Caller and the Daily Caller News Foundation. And Ireland Owens wrote this sometime earlier today. It says 4 hours, but I've had it up here for several hours. So, yeah, they're going after the Kellogg Company, or Kellanova now it's called. Anybody know it's called Kellanova? I didn't. I just found out today about this. Anyway, it must be behind the times. But so here we are after this because, they've been engaged in various left-wing activities to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Oh, wow. So they're going after this company now, Kellanova products. Let me see if I can get you a list of some of those things like Cheez-It, Pringles, Pop-Tarts, Eggos, you name it. Yeah, these people are just, I don't know where they get things. It's so off the wall crazy. Another very fascinating story that I saw for a Friday afternoon. All right, and this one, quantum effects in life, cells compute information billions times faster than we thought. And that just goes to prove one big thing. We don't know it all, but we're also open to try to learn all that we can. We don't figure that what we learned last week is going to hold true next week, because it usually gets subsumed into something else. Okay, the knowledge we gained last week becomes the foundation for new knowledge this week. It's just the way it works. If you're unwilling to accept the change from last week to this week, I need to give you a hug. Okay. Oh, and then the last story I thought was fascinating. If I can go back to the right button here, I'm going to share this screen. I don't know. Everybody knows who Bill Gates is, and he's a pretty smart character, very smart person. And so he's warning that AI will take over 3 major careers. Express, Yelena Vandenberg wrote this earlier today. And Bill Gates is predicting that AI will take over 3 major careers in 10 years, within a decade. And what are those careers? Well, let's go down and look. The first one is medicine and education. The first 2, medicine and education. Yep. So what are we looking at? What's the third one? I'm looking for the third one now. I don't see it. Anyway, we know that, and AI is learning and adapting faster and faster every day. Because we also know this, that a single person cannot or does not have the ability to actually know everything there is to know and take information every day, every time they see a new patient, because each patient has their own requirements, right? Each student learns certain ways that are best for them. You can't always just shove them all into a box and say, this is way 1, way 2, way 3. Those are only ways we're going to talk about how to address your ailment or your learning style, okay? So, yeah, AI is going to pick up on all that stuff because it's already adapting quickly, all right? So let's go back to just the regular old screen. How's everybody doing? Any comments over here? I see a comment. Yeah. Oh, tariffs on automaker prices warning. Okay. Yep. Bert, thank you so much. And I know that there's another name, and I can't remember what it is right off the bat. And I'm so sorry. But my friend from Arizona, okay? My friend from Arizona. And so we know all this stuff is coming on. We know that prices are going to go up. We know the economy is going to be hit hard. The Wall Street is falling faster than somebody throwing a bucket of rocks off a building, not feathers, rocks. So we know that this stuff is going to hit. We've been told by the powers that be that we can manage through these small little bumps and it'll make our country better on the other side. Lord, where have we heard that kind of argument before? My goodness. Yeah, we can pick any country in the world that's ever said something like that and then tell you what the outcome was, right? Yep, absolutely. Thanks for putting a comment over there. I do appreciate it. Let's see. Now, let's go back to the original part of this conversation, and that was to do with Trump going after the anti-American ideology at the Smithsonian, all of its museums. And I'm going to tell you, I've been to the National African American Museum of History and Culture. And if you saw the email I sent out earlier today or the blog post I sent out prior to that, I've talked about it. I've been there. And yes, very much like Germany, 1933. Absolutely. So, Anne Frank House. That's right. So, yes, going into the African American Museum of History and Culture, it's a beautifully built structure, beautifully built. Okay. And it's very powerful. You walk in and you can go down floors and up floors, and it's all over the place. There's so much to see in there, but it is so powerful, and it just washes over you. You can see in the presentations and in all the displays the anguish that people who were brought into this country and held in slavery went through for years and years and decades and centuries. Okay. We've got so much to do to improve on all of that stuff. I walked through that place and it just is gut wrenching. It rips out your heart and you go, how could any one human being do that to another? And then you start seeing some of the things that it took for them to get out of it. It took for them to overcome these things. Okay. And we could apply a lot of lessons from there in the attacks that present leadership in our government is hoisting against and is foisting against minorities of all kinds, particularly transgender Americans, for no good reason at all, period. It's just crazy. But you can learn some lessons from all of that. You can take heart in knowing that eventually this stuff turns around. Eventually, we get our lives back. Okay? That offers no consolation whatsoever. For the stuff we're going through right now, it offers none. So if you want to find a way to get through all of this stuff, just keep an eye on what's going on with the Smithsonian, because Trump's wanting to remove all that anti-American ideology out of it. Anything that doesn't portray his particular view of America, that's whitewashed all over. That's exactly what this is, folks. He's whitewashed American history and culture to make it fit what he thinks it should be, or let me put it in another way, in what the Heritage Foundation thinks it should be. And we know that that's not complete. We know that that's not whole. We know that you're going to leave out a lot. And I dare say very few will ever hear again about Black Wall Street. So, yeah. So we've got a lot to learn. We've got a lot to keep track of. And we don't want to forget the history either. We don't want to forget the history or the lives that are engaged with all of this. Okay. On my blog post, you'll find numerous posts out there, numerous pictures and links to Colonel Bree Fram's website, where you can find out even more, so that you can, you see some of the people who are being erased. And I don't use that word lightly. I didn't even come up with using it, because it was used first in the introduction by Dr. Roberts at the Heritage Foundation in Project 2025, the Mandate for Conservative Leadership thing. Okay. In the very beginning, on like page 4 or 5, somewhere around there, then you'll find that he used that word erase to describe sexual and gender minorities. Not just trans, but all of the LGBTQ plus community. He wants to erase it. And if you think that this administration will stop at just one group, like trans people, because they're the ones they can actually make a big thing about right now, and they have for the narratives in their control. So that's what's going on, folks. They're going to go from that group to the next group. Always. I mean, that's their plan. Dr. Roberts laid it out clearly in Project 2025. We tried to warn you, tried to tell you. But now we can't do anything about what's happened in the past. So we have to look forward. We got to figure out a way to move forward. So what is the path forward? Well, go on my website there at www.cassandra-llc.com and click on one of those blogs down that list, and you'll find that I've written in there a few things to help get people through situations and how I overcome them. Okay. I keep my hands busy. So keep your hands busy. Don't spend your time dwelling on the news all day long, especially the stuff that's attacking all of the trans people out there, or the LGBT community, or minorities of any type or stripe, whatever. Make sure you're reading some of the things and keeping up to date on some of the things that matter to you specifically. Like for some people, I know that it's engineering. For me, it's like, I love dealing with some science. I love dealing with some math. I love dealing with cultural things. I love just knowing more about what's going on in the world. Try to be as holistically prepared for what might be coming by knowing as much as I possibly can about a lot of different things. Doesn't mean you have to be an expert on anything, but at least it puts your hands to work doing something. And also, concurrently with all of that, if you had projects like what I've got myself here doing in Eastern Kentucky, which is taking care of family, that's even more pertinent and important and satisfying. It keeps your mind steady and stable and out of the stable genius kind. Okay. Don't fall into the stable genius kind. It's so easy to do that. You fall off into a ditch, get yourself out of it. And with that, the path forward, hey, here's your assignment. Go check out those blogs and read them. There's some on there on how to move forward. There's some on there about what's going on. Go check them out. www.cassandra-llc.com. Go check that out. And it is Friday afternoon, folks, and I will see you unless there's some more breaking news coming around. Oh, and by the way, I do want to say one thing before I get off here. I do now have a Zoom platform where I can bring people in to talk, just chat back and forth like has been done in the past. So let me know if you're interested in something like that too. Give people a chance to kind of voice what's going on, but also the whole idea would be to offer ways forward, to find some methods and means and what you're doing to help you get through all of this so that others might be able to hear it and learn from you too. Okay. That's part of this whole thing. We've got to learn from each other how to survive through all of this stuff, not just survive, but find a way to thrive as well. Yes, it's going to be hard. Yes, it is hard for a lot of people, but we can learn some things. So just let me know. You go to that website right there, sign up, send me a message. Here's my email address. Let me go ahead and put that over there really quickly. Right there, admin@cassandra-llc.com. Send me a note to that email address. If you're interested in doing anything with Zoom, where several of us can get together and just have a little powwow kind of thing and kind of, strategize on how to move forward. And that's what we need to be doing. That's the way we kind of move forward, but also need to know when's a good time for everyone to meet. Just keep in mind, my hands are full primarily mornings and evenings after this show and all of that. So, be aware of that. I've got my hands occupied with taking care of family, and that will always come first, just so you know. Anyway, with that, have a great weekend, and I will see you, barring any problems, Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Have a great weekend, everyone.